Oh no, this scav is so hard. I'll never be able to finish this one. Never mind, we got this. I bet you wonder how I got all those. It wasn't from creative mode. It wasn't from another player either. Nope, it was from this. Well, not this one exactly, but one of these. Let me explain. You already know that in a scav vault, you run through, find a bunch of items, and turn it in at one of these thingies. You probably also know that you don't use all of the items you collect. But you can't take them to the next vault, they just rot. So the vast majority of your scav items just end up getting recycled into soul shards. And y'all know I am not against soul shards. However, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to waste them all? What if we had a way to hide them? Now, the original inspiration for this idea came when I discovered that Simple Storage has a remote that you can use to access your storage system. And yes, it actually does work in the vault. The problem is they've disabled the crafting recipe so you can't actually obtain it in survival vault hunters. Which brings us back to refined storage. Because refined storage packages everything you put into it into storage disks, or in our case, storage blocks. And since the storage blocks aren't regular containers like a backpack or a shulker, vault hunters shouldn't see that there are items inside, so they shouldn't rot. At least that's the theory. But Denalid, I hear you say. You can't place refined storage items in the vaults. And you'd be right. But you can place these. That's right, Create Mod comes to the rescue once again. What if we built a contraption that had an entire storage system right on top of it? I've already prototyped this a couple of different ways, but what we're going to do is we're going to use a refined storage controller and yeah, that one storage block that I mentioned. And then use some energetic mining, let's say, to retrieve the storage components. Then we'll use a hopper or a chest or something to put our item into, since we can't interact with the storage system once we're inside. Now the complication here is that create mode won't pick up all of the refined storage blocks. I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem to recognize them correctly. So we're going to have to use a modular router with a couple of placer modules to place the controller and the storage block after we go inside. But I think we could just use a hopper to put the pouch into the storage system, so that's simple enough. All right, let's go in and test it. Now I have amped up this vault just a tiny bit so that we can collect plenty of scav items. I want to really fill up that bag when we first put it in. Oh, look at this. Can we clutch it? No. Okay, I've got a bunch of scav items. I've got my pouch ready, and I'm not even going to bother completing this one. I'm just going to put the thing into storage and exit the vault. So here's our contraption. And toss this into the hopper. Oh, nothing happened. Hang on a sec. All right, I fiddled with this as long as I can. Turns out that hopper is not going to work. We're going to have to actually use an importer, which is going to complicate things. All right, let's go prototype again. Okay, here's the new version of the machine. Now, there's a couple of weird things going on here. The importer also doesn't get picked up by Create Mod when it assembles the contraption, so I've got another modular router to handle that. And it only places it facing down for some reason, but whatever, it's fine. It works. And I also discovered that you have to place the controller last, or it doesn't pick up all of the other pieces properly. Again, I'm not really sure why, but yeah, it's an easy enough thing to do. All right, this will actually be attempt 3 because of reasons. What Seriously, the game has to be trolling me. All right, here we go. So we've got rail, contraption, lever, lever. Everything appeared correctly, good. Pouch in. Okay, I can't check the block, but the pouch disappeared from the chest, so we should be good to go. Now, that energetic mining I mentioned. And there we are. All the oh wait, that's not all the pieces. Okay, so a little bit more energetic mining. That's more like it. And of course, remember that you actually have to pull out the items you need before you do that, so you can complete this vault. All right, I have a grid so that we can see what's in the storage system. So let's just put everything down real quick. And there we go. We have a couple of extra things I put in there during testing, but the important bit is, here's the pouch. Now, let's check inside. Beautiful. And the best part is, you don't have to do anything special to get the items into the vault. You only have to get them out of the vault. So now we can run another vault and start with this big collection of items already there. You just have to remember every time you do this to bring in your portable storage system. And yes, you will have to manually reassemble this one every time because, as I said, the contraptions just don't do well with some of these components. The modular routers, the modular router modules, the placer modules, and similar items also don't work well with Create Mod, so the schematic cannon just isn't helpful here. I'm working on a couple of other tricks with this same game mechanic, so make sure you sub if you want to see that. Meanwhile, if you haven't checked out what I've done with Champion Vaults, take a look. And I'll see you next time.